Yo, before this episode of Kpop RC starts, don't forget to check out kpopRC.com for scale as apps for your scale ride, or pick yourself up a set of Recaros, an intercooler, or even 10 scale body screws or budget cooling fans. Remember, for every $20 you spend, you get 2 entries to win the Zero Flux Hilux cage. The dirty E30 wagon. You know, I started this damn epic E30 wagon build, I'd say a few years back already, and it's a serious love-hate relationship.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
On one hand, it's a beast. It's scale as shite. It looks super cool. It's packed full of cool features like the McPherson-style strut front end, open hood exposing a super nice turboed S54 BMW engine, working headlights, taillights, all controlled with the Kpop bus, the Bobs, an over-engineered wiring harness traversing across the whole chassis, a styrene cage, replica from a real E30 wagon race car. Even that turbo compressor wheel was visible through a cut-out front headlight. Pure fire, right?
I like it a lot.
And oh, I'd agree with you a few years back, but here's the catch. It's a f***ing imposter.
Watch your mouth, young man.
Dad?
Yeah.
Maybe I've been watching too many SEMA recaps and hearing most of the builds at SEMA are non-driving cars. Let's talk about the Bulldog chassis. This is an antiquated four-wheel drive drift chassis, a dying discipline of RC drifting, one that never quite worked out. An aggressive style of driving that meant lots of risk at the track, bashing walls and other cars, all to try to gain some kind of controllable four-wheel drive skid. This build was already doomed to begin with, just starting with this chassis, and don't get me wrong, it can work. People have made it work, but for the amount of time and my limited experience, and to be honest, lack of motivation to slap some lipstick on a pig
This is called Crimson Sky.
and try to convince everyone on the internet that they should also dress up a pig in lipstick is probably not the best way to go.
Who are you?
Now, let's add scale as fatness, otherwise known as scale density. The amount of extra mass that you're willing to put up with, knowing full well the more you add, the less capable your car will drift. This is a straight up balancing act, a give or take. Cramming that pig in lipstick with more and more kitchen scraps is not going to help the cause. The cause being sliding some serious corners while looking cool as fuck. And I really, really, really don't want to build an RC drift project that seems along looking pretty in lipstick but never actually slides worth a dick.
Dick with a Y.
So, and by I mean I, am going to pivot. Let's pivot this build. Last November, I started to actually go to the drift track, started hanging with a good group of drifters, and started to learn the ways of true RC drift enlightenment. A lot of people nowadays started with a Suck Your Cura D5 chassis, a cheap 3 racing chassis that is extremely capable for its price, and to be real, a highly recommended chassis for anybody who wants to get into the hobby. As the popularity of this budget chassis keeps growing, so do the hop-up parts. A dude at the track dropped over 5 bills on his, making it a serious contender. Did I go that route for this iteration of the E30 scale drift project wagon? No. I slipped on some serious ice, a term coined by the Scale Science Colorado Drift Posse. Slipping on ice means making poor financial decisions and purchasing impulsively to cement a hard foundation of mental health when coping with a world full of
The shiitake
Tractor beam. Suck me right in.
What did I buy? pencil for scale. Pencil for scale. Not really. Not really. Damn. Let me get myself organized here. Well, as a patron of a drift track that sells tons of parts, you end up ogling the complete chassis that are displayed in glass cabinets full of drool-worthy merchandise. The track, otherwise known as the pushers of financial ruin balanced with pure joy, sold me a Yd2 SXII, a bastardized chassis with gobs of hop-up parts, making it worth the 6 Canadian bills I spent on it. All right, so this is kind of a bastard child, a YD2. So this is a YD2, but it's a bastard YD2. It is just a hodgepodge of generations, just a whole bunch of generations of parts, and that's what you get, you know, when the track kind of throws together a chassis from just like spare parts. Although, you know, they are very good spare parts. So for the price that I paid for this thing, I did quite well. From a slide rack steering system to an active rear tow system in the rear to a BLRS4 ESC. All right, look at this. Look at this. Yeah, we also got ourselves a upside down YOKOMO DP302 Gyro. That's right. This guy is the Cadillac of cars. The Cadillac of freaking gyros, and we got one. That's right, we got one. Also, I'm running my high-tech radio system that has telemetry, so we will also be monitoring the engine temperature through the radio. That's right. The list grows, and to be honest, let's not dwell too long before I start to count the cash spent to bring joy back into this cold heart. So, I slipped on some ice. A little birthday present to myself, I started to get it going. We're gonna tune it tomorrow at the track, and yeah, and then once it's tuned, then I'm going to be working on this super sweet E30 BMW 3 Series wagon. I learned a few things after getting the Adam LZ Cream Color 240 drifting, the major lesson being not to mount your body until your chassis is set up. Get it going bodiless.
Let's go skinny dipping. What? Are you crazy?
Unless you want it monster truck in the front and make it look like garbage as it drifts. Even though it's basically a no-no drifting bodiless at most RC drift tracks, the guys at Strictly Sideways here in Toronto knew I was tuning it, and by I mean Trevor and Nezzo.
Buddy, I need help, man. Oh, yes.
We got it sliding consistently, and man, what a dream. This thing slides naked sensually.
Sure is nice to find other guys who are comfortable with their nakedity like me.
I always champion getting into chassis that are the most popular at your track. The dudes here at Strictly Sideways know their way around most chassis, but I would say are very familiar with the YOKOMO YD2 chassis. So massive shout out goes to Nezzo and Trevor, who took some time out of their busy track days to set me up right.
Yeah, yay, man. Yeah, it does feel pretty good. Better in the rear end. Sweet.
All right, so now that we have this sweet, capable chassis ready to slide some corners, let's get this thing dressed in a fine suit of Lexan. Keeping with the theme of this dirty 30 build, I of course whipped out my spare A-Plastics E30 wagon shell. I don't know why I'm such a sucker for sporty wagons. I had to make this one special, being tired of seeing the same 240s with their played out Rocket Bunny wide bodies. Glorious, but you know, played out. I really wanted to try to make something a little different, something that might be the only one out there at the drift track. So I asked myself, what's cooler than an E30?
Who's cooler than me?
Well, of course, it's the M3 E30 with those sexy box flares.
Shush!
Knowing that BMW didn't make an M3 wagon E30 variant, I fell down a deep dark Google pit, checking out all the custom E30 Wagon M3 builds, and oh, there are many. Seems that I wasn't the only one with that thirst.
Where's the juice? No, whizzing the juice!
That's it for this part of the dirty E30 wagon build, but don't you fret, you guessed it, part 2 is already live on the channel. If you feel like supporting your boy Kpop RC, visit kpopRC.com. That's www.kpoprc.com. I don't think you need the www, whatever, doesn't matter. Get yourself some slaps for your scale ride, and grab yourself some Kpop RC swag. Or come and hang on Tall Can Tuesday every week on Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the tube. Remember, helping the channel enters you to win a Zero Flux Hilux cage, and right now, it's the only way to get your hands on one. So, see you on part 2 of the Dirty E30 Scale Drift Project. Kpop out.